Then what size?
This one's from Jeremy in Wisconsin. And it says, Toffee Brand Coffee is the best coffee in the world. Thanks for the grift.
Anyway, I'm going to find out who this quartering character is. And when I do, he's going to get a bit of the old ice troll treatment.
From loathing Brie Larson to being the unofficial #1 fan site for Brie Larson.
How about a handshake? You're going to give me your jacket, your helmet, and your motorcycle, and in return, I'm going to let you keep your hand.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome in on this wonderful Lone Wolf Cast Friday, where we wrap up the week and kind of just clear our platter for the weekend. I've actually got streaming plans this weekend, I believe, and some standalone video plans this weekend as well. But for now, I always like to check in and see how everyone's doing on these Fridays. They're usually a little bit of a shorter stream, a little bit more low key. I've got errands to run. I've got returns. I've got like friggin' 20 Amazon returns. Remember when they used to like pick up your stuff at your house and return from Amazon? Now you always have to take it to, you always have to take it to the store now. It sucks. But that's part of, well, normal life. So that's what I do Fridays. What's the lore behind being the official site for Brie Larson? A long time ago, during the Brie Larson Marvel craziness, I made a lot of videos about it because it was a hot topic, very, very hot. And it was becoming a bit of a meme. I think I had done maybe 100 videos on her. But I mean, I have videos. I mean, really, Brie Larson is responsible for launching my channel. Brie Larson and The Last of Us 2 were basically the two biggest waves that the channel ever experienced in terms of new viewers and new subscribers. And ever since then, basically nothing is compared. You could argue maybe the Charlie Kirk assassination. The thing with creating content is that you've got to ride the waves, but then you've got to know when to bail. When to move on to the next topic. And it's a delicate dance of kind of trying to stay, covering stuff that people are interested in while also, not beating a dead horse, while also, making your money while you can. That's always a big part of it. Like it's all part of the game. Don't buy crap you don't need or want. Well, look, when you have a wife that buys her clothes off Amazon, okay? I don't know if any of you guys know this, fellas who with a lady friend, married, unmarried, whatever. Women like to buy clothes like one size up, one size down, because they can't try them on. There are no really stores anymore to go and, try stuff on. So you buy size up, you buy size down, you wear what you're going to wear, then you return the other two stuff. This is how women buy clothes nowadays. They don't go into the stores and say, and try stuff on anymore. That's just not how stuff gets done. And so there's that. Let's see. My wife drives me nuts and forgets to return the clothes. Well, she's good about that. She gets them, she tries them on, and then they go on, like we have a counter by the door. They go right there. She prints off the return stuff. All I got to do is take it to the UPS store. No big deal. Too many troons in the dressing rooms. That's probably a big, that's true. Maybe don't have dumb sizes. Hey, I agree. I wish a medium was the same in every pair of clothes. I found you from the Lauren Chen fan club site. You just say crosswords do work. Wow. There's a Lauren Chen fan club site? All the sites about me are dedicated to hating me. Let's see. Big in returns, it sucks. Being in returns, it sucks, bro. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I bet you the number of returns are like, exponentially higher these days because women don't try shit on. Now, to be fair, as a man, I never try stuff on either. Which doesn't always work out because I end up having to return stuff too. How much money did Israel promise me? Well, none yet. Dear Israel, please give money. Give money, Israel. I could use it. But let's get into, I miss the old unsleeved media days when Magic was good. Hey, you know what? You can still play Pauper. You can still play Commander. You can still play, all this stuff without, supporting the company and all that kind of stuff. So let's talk about this. What's going on, everybody? Jeremy here. Well, the Jeremy Hambly channel or, the Quartering or many other channels, wherever you're watching this, please do subscribe or follow. The day of reckoning is here. International news reader Don Lemon is due in court today for his arraignment, and things are about to get very real because I think he long suspected that being a celebrity, he was just never going to get arrested. He thought just saying he was a journalist meant, well, that he could do whatever the hell he wants. But the reality is life doesn't work that way. And now he's facing federal charges for storming a church. And anybody who watched it knows that not only did he participate in it, but many of us believe he participated in planning it. I believe he brought donuts and coffee to these people. And it's irrefutable. And he is dealing with now the reality, something he thought he would never face under Kamala Harris leadership. And here we go. Ex-CNN host Don Lemon set to be arraigned in Minnesota church protest case. Former CNN loser turned independent. I love how they say turned independent. He was fired. And he was not hired anywhere else. That's the difference. That's the difference. Arraigned in federal court in Minnesota today, along with 4 other defendants who were also indicted for their roles in disrupting a service at church where an immigration and customs official was a pastor. Doesn't actually matter. Doesn't matter who the pastor was. Also scheduled for arraignment Friday is civil rights attorney Nekema Levy Armstrong, the subject of a photo posted on an official White House social media account that was altered to falsely give her crying. What, has the New York Post become a leftoid rag now? This is why I always bring up a lot of different sources. The picture is part of a deluge of AI altered imagery circulating since the self-defense situation of Renee Good and Alex Preddy. So the New York Post is shilling this leftoid narrative now. These weren't deadly incidents. They were self-defense. They were self-defense people. Like, this whole thing is crazy. Two more defendants, including independent loser Georgia Fort, are said to be, dude, just because you walk around with a cell phone does not mean you get to call yourself a journalist. That's not how this stuff works. And it seems like the New York Post is now shifting left to push that same insane narrative. Protesters illegally interrupted services at city's church by chanting "Ice Out, Justice for Renee Good," referring to the 37-year-old mother who effed around and found out. Lemon said that he was not affiliated with the group and that he was simply there as a journalist to cover the event. Well, we all know that now that the feds have his cell phone, there's going to be private communications between those two. That's just, I just know, I don't know, but I know that there's going to be, I had a dream that they were going to discover private communique between this riot group and international news reader Don Lemon. That's just, they're going to find out that he knew about the planning and that he was invited to be there to give them coverage. That's going to be my prediction of what they find out. I've spent my entire career covering the news and I will not stop now. In fact, there's no more important time than right now. This is a very moment for free and independent media that shines the light on the truth that holds power accountable. International news reader Don Lemon said. I wonder if Don Lemon would refer to Nick Shirley as a journalist, because we know the left didn't. They referred to him as an agitator or, a Trump surrogate or all this other insane stuff. The church protest drew sharp complaints from conservative religious and political leaders. It shouldn't be just conservatives. What would have happened, let me ask you, what would have happened if a bunch of Trump supporters went into a church and were yelling, "Build the wall 10 feet tall, illegals out, we support ICE"? Don't we think that the left would be clutching their pearls and crying on camera about how this was a violation of their constitutionally protected rights? What if Christians went into one of these woke, quote unquote, churches that support LGBTQ nonsense, and they went in there and were screaming and chanting that, LGBTQ people go to hell and blah, 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 blah. Do you think the left would have hesitated even for a second to prosecute these people to the fullest extent of the law? That's why I don't have a lot of time. I don't have a lot of time for these fake narratives, apparently spread by the New York Post now, too. The church protests, even among the clergy who oppose the administration's immigration enforcement tactics, there was discomfort with such protests. The 1994 Freedom Across the Clinical Entrances Act prohibits interference or intimidation to any person by force, threat of force, or physical obstruction exercising or seeking to exercise their First Amendment right of religious freedom at a place of religious worship. Penalties can range from a year in prison to a $10,000 fine. Now, look, I'm not saying that Don Lemon needs to go to prison for 25 years. He would like that too much. But I do think he needs to serve time. He needs to serve 6 months. Give him half, look. And by the way, everybody who's not just Don Lemon, but all of them should serve 6 months. Now, am I optimistic that they will serve any amount of time? No, I'm not. Will they even get a week in prison? Probably not. Should they? Yes, because if they don't, then next time these people storm a church, right, somebody's going to get hurt. What's going to happen when people in these churches start saying, you know what, we're under attack? It wasn't that many months ago when a trans individual went into a church and took the lives of many people, right, in Minnesota. What if these people had stormed the church screaming and church security had taken them out? Is it reasonable to assume that they thought, wow, maybe we're under attack. Maybe these people are troons and you're gonna do something horrible. It's certainly possible. I think people, I would give people the benefit of the doubt. And if we look some of this footage, by the way, it's not just international news reader Don Lemon, it's all these other scumbags.
DHS says 3 of those people were the ringleaders, accusing them of planning the riot. Now they are charged with conspiracy to deprive rights, a federal crime. One of them right here, William Kelly, was on camera saying this.
Now, you tell me if this looks like they were peacefully protesting.
As you can see, all these pretend Christians, all these comfortable white people who are living lavish, comfortable lives.
Kids are crying, by the way. Little children are crying because they're scared. You know, you want to protest outside the church on public property? Okay, sure.
While children are dragged into concentration camps.
What about the children at that church? You know, the U.S. citizens that have every right, every legal right to be there. Do we care about them? Hippie farmer? Do we care about them at all? I don't think you do. I think you're only cared about... By the way, this guy uses GoFundMe to raise funds to do this stuff. He turns this into a profit center for him. He's literally a paid Terry.
Well, last month, agitators shouted at churchgoers.
Look at these people here. They look terrified.
There in the middle of services, protesters targeted.
He also mentioned race, so I think we should add a hate crime escalator, at least for the hippie farmer, this guy.
This church because one of the pastors works for ICE. Former CNN anchor Don Lemon, who was live streaming, is also going to be arraigned today. He said he was covering this as a journalist, but prosecutors say he knowingly joined the mob.
He did.
Meanwhile, Operation Metro Surge here has ended in Minneapolis. Border czar Tom Homan making that big announcement yesterday after what he called unprecedented support from local and state officials. He said he accomplished exactly what President Trump sent him here to do.
This is quiet here. This is probably this is kind of quiet.
In Minneapolis to do three things. De-escalate, done. Take public safety threats off the street. Over 4,000 illegal aliens were arrested, done.
Seems like
gain
a success.
Cooperation from state and local law enforcement.
I mean, it seems like a success to me. Again, Don Lemon going to be arraigned today. He's going to enter probably a not guilty plea. I would love for this to go to trial because I'm very curious what kind of messages are going to be found in discovery between Don Lemon and these people. My guess is they're going to find out that he coordinated very deeply with them, that he coordinated very specifically with them. That's what I guess. You know, that's what I'm guessing. And ultimately, I just don't understand. Can't we just have simple rules that apply to everybody? I think that is what most Americans say. If a bunch of conservatives stormed even one of these woke churches, I would say that they deserve to have the same penalty as anybody else. This is like the normal American reaction to stuff. So I just don't understand why we can't just have that. That's all I want. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like and you follow the channel or subscribe or wherever you're watching it, whatever they call it. And we'll talk to you again real soon. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, the arraignment isn't going to be that exciting. Like, it's basically like, here are the charges. How do you plea this, that, and the other stuff? You know. You said yesterday that there's a way to speak to you on the live show somehow. How would I go about doing that? I would like to be part of the conversation. That is, if you go to thequartering.com/join and you join the members Discord, if it works, all caps apparently doesn't work. Thequartering.com/join, you join the members Discord. I can bring you into the show on Fridays, and we'll start that next Friday. And I'll carve out like a half hour at the end of the show, and we'll take calls. You can talk to me directly. You can you can argue with me. You can, do whatever you like, and it should be fun. Let's see. I see Candace's defenders are in the chat. Look, I don't like Candace Owens. You must be new here. I think she's a piece of shit, demonic loser. And if that upsets you, then that's okay. Let's see. Candace is great. Hey, look, if you like Candace, I'm not telling you not to watch her. I'm just saying you're literally watching a demon. You know, a real, actual piece of shit. As long as you know that, watching her, that's okay. You know, the only people that are really tuned into Candace are ultra far right, the Jews are behind everything people, and leftoids. That's her audience. She is not a peer. I don't give a fuck about her. She has told Americans not to vote because she never gave a shit about this country. She's literally black Liz Cheney. A total piece of shit. So if you want to watch black Liz Cheney, tune in, but don't ever come around here and whine and complain when Republicans lose midterms. You know, enjoy your channel dedicated to boxed wine drinkers. She's a dumb twat who's always been woke, and she fooled the right by being a pretty black lady, and everyone's like, oh, pretty black girl, she's conservative, she's our shield. Let's prop her up. Candace Owens goes and makes millions of dollars working for a Jew company in a Jewish company in PragerU, and then a Jewish company in the Daily Wire. Once she gets fired, suddenly she's got a problem with Jews. Well, if she's got a problem with Jews, why doesn't she give up all those millions that the Daily Wire paid her? Okay, I don't give a fuck about. You want to talk about specific things that the Israeli government does and how they spend money in the United States? We can have a conversation. If you're just a brain dead, Jews bad, Jews did everything, I stubbed my toe, Jews did it person, then I can't have a conversation with you. And if Candace Owens was so anti-Israel, then she'd give back all that money she got from Super Jew Ben Shapiro, wouldn't she? You know? She's literally the Netflix edition of Liz Cheney. All right? If you think she's smart, you're a retard. All right, let's be very clear. Damn dude, goodbye. Fine by me. It's funny when like people find out now that if you're finding out now that I think Candace Owens is a dumb twat, grifter, liar, piece of shit, then you haven't been watching the show. It's your first time watching it. You know? Candace Owens is mad that Charlie Kirk chose Erica Kirk, and it's never been more obvious. But anyway. Yeah, y'all late to the game. I've been shitting on her for years. Yeah. That's just the reality of it. What's going on, everybody? Jeremy here from, well, the Jeremy Hambley channel, maybe the Quartering. I don't know. Maybe you recognize me. Wherever you're seeing this video, please make sure you leave a like on it and you subscribe or follow down below, because I have many channels. I have too many channels probably, but each one is different in its coverage, and I hope you like it. Disney, after yesterday announcing unceremoniously that Disney's widely maligned LGBTQ festival that happened at the children's theme park is canceled this year. Leave a like to shed one tear, or to spit, actually. They've quietly announced just how bad their race-swapped, woke agenda is. And we now know the earnings of their disastrous Snow White film, the film they tried to hide, the loss that they tried to hide for so long is now public, and they are just having an absolute bad day. Like, we know exactly who these people are. Disney's disastrous Snow White remake lost them an absolute fortune, in new filings reveal.
One more circle back. Turning Point got, I believe at one point, over 6 million viewers on their alternative.
6 million.
Very talented. Does
okay.
not.
Well, that's not it. When you look up cautionary tale in the dictionary from now on, there's going to be a poster of Snow White listed. I mean, that's just, I mean, certain. You know, there's just, this is how it is. And, you know, again, they thought it was going to be stunning and brave to remake Snow White with a brown lady. And quite frankly, that's just not how it works. And it turned out hiring that specific brown lady, she was as unlikable as anyone. She was so wildly unlikable that, you know, people just, it was a box office disaster. There was literally no hiding it. They tried. Disney Studios under Bob Iger decided that they would essentially no longer make original content. Instead, they wanted to focus exclusively on franchises, remakes, and existing intellectual property under their control. That led to a full slate of live-action films based on classic animated Disney stories. The first few movies made a profit as the novelty factor tapered. Oh, come on, Outkick, you've got an obvious typo, and I'm a guy that can barely read. Tapered over the lack of creativity, originality, and poor execution. That was bad enough, but Disney, like almost every other studio, had become overrun with progressives throughout the executive and creative ranks. So when it came time for Snow White to get remade, the film essentially made Disney Studios back in the 1930s. Those involved took it in the worst possible direction. They tried to appeal to the non-existent, quote, modern audience. This is a term that a lot of, you know, stock people have said, and a lot of people, you know, who push progressivism will say, oh, there's this huge untapped audience of people that really just want to see Snow White, but with a brown Latino instead of a white woman. Well, we knew that wasn't true. We knew that wasn't true. You know, instead of a classic fairy tale, the Snow White character would become a rebellious leader who hated men. Set photos leaked seem to show the iconic dwarfs will be replaced with an extremely modern set of diverse hipsters, and star Rachel Zegler fulfilled nothing of the character's original description. Then she spent her time on red carpets criticizing the original as weird, outdated, and no longer relevant in today's world. Yeah, a lot of girl bosses out there, as their uteruses turn into elephants' graveyards, are finding out the hard way that what they were sold in third wave feminism doesn't actually convert to happiness. You know? When the film finally hit theaters a year later, thanks to frantic attempts to salvage what clearly was a disaster in the making, it was a spectacular box office bomb. And now we finally know the true scale of how big of a bomb Snow White actually was. When the film neared the end of its theatrical run, most estimates suggested that Snow White would lose Disney somewhere between $115 and $140 million. An insane number, considering its budget, star power, and the number of theaters that were showing it. Well, we actually have the new numbers, and their losses are somehow way higher. Thanks to the UK's film production credit rules, they're forced to give us a full picture of the cost of Snow White, and shocker, it ran way over budget. Forbes calculated that after accounting for gigantic incentives from the UK government, Disney's, another typo, total outlay for the film was over $271 million. Based on the industry standard of a 50-50 revenue split, where studios take home just half of what the film's total box office is, that will put Snow White's total losses at nearly $170 million, one of the biggest box office bombs in history of the entire movie business in pure dollar terms. And by the way, on top of that, you know, the damage it did to Disney as a brand is tough to understate because people simply moved on after that. You know, like people just moved on. That's exactly what this is. You know, like it is that people said, you know what? I'm cool. I don't need any more Disney crap. I'm sick of, look, write a new show. You want to star a Latino? Then write a new movie with a Latino star. Why is that difficult? Why do they refuse to do that? It's because they're hell-bent on replacing white stars. Everybody knew that was their plan at the time, and it's never been more clear. To be fair to the film and Disney, there are other sources of revenue besides box office figures, but the primary source of income for most major movies with a film this unpopular was audience. Well, remember when the industry got to, you know, a fun fact, I forget who actually talked about this. I feel like it was Matthew McConaughey or something. But films, you know why films have gotten so bad lately? Is because they rely 100% on box office revenue. There once was a time that movies could actually turn a profit because people that really loved them would also buy the DVD. Remember that? Remember when you saw like, you know, a low budget film that you really liked at the theater, and the first thing you did when it came out was to buy the DVD because you wanted to watch that movie again? Well, there are no more DVDs. You can't buy DVDs anymore. So now every penny they make has to be in the box office. That is an enormous amount of money to lose, even for a studio at Disney's level. And it's a self-inflicted wound. Yes, the audience fatigue does exist from live action remakes, but Lilo and Stitch took in $1 billion at the global box office, not long after Snow White's release. That's a clear indication that the film's obvious political motives were directly responsible for the scale of its failure, and it didn't have to be this way. I mean, Fox News talks about it here.
Democrats are playing
Nope, they don't, apparently. They have this, I thought.
Democrats are playing the
So they just replaced. Oh, here we go.
Douglas, you wrote this amazing article in The Spectator called Prince Charming is Canceled.
Yes.
But you go...
Well, Zegler is saying that it was sort of basically that he's a stalker in the 1937 cartoon that we all know and loved. It's quite something, by the way, isn't it? It's a sort of Target-like PR move to decide to send out an actress to do advance publicity for a movie when she then just pees all over the classic version of this fairy tale. And there's Disney saying, yeah, keep going out there. And then what does she do? She says that Prince Charming can be edited out of it. And she says because, wait for it, Snow White needs to become the woman that she knows she can be and the leader she knows she can be. Now,
again, we all remember exactly how this shook out. We remember, you know, what cramming politics. The thing is, you know, for all those people that are saying they're not voting in the midterms, well, you're going to get more movies like this then. You know, we surrender power back to the Democrats. The DEI money will start flowing again. Sure, it'll be great for my channel, but I actually prefer to cover hard news nowadays. You know, there used to be a time when just dunking on woke movies made me a lot of money, a lot more money than talking about hard politics did. But I would rather make less money and talk about stuff that matters to this country than go back to dunking on woke movies. That was easy money. But I would much rather see Republicans win the midterm somehow and have, you know, Republicans win the presidency in 2028 and keep that DEI sieve off, because I want these movies to stay gone. I want new interest. Look at that Batman Noir. Is that what it's called? Bat Noir or whatever. Looks pretty good. I watched, there's a lot of great movies that are coming out right now that are not political. And it's because the DEI sieve has been shut off. Disney tried to hide these numbers and they were forced to release just how bad it is. And I'm absolutely here for it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it. If you haven't, please subscribe or follow down below. And we'll talk to you again real soon. When we vote GOP, we still get Dem policies. Look, I don't want to try to convince. I don't really want to be the lesser of two evils guy, but I think it's still better than voting Democrat, because when you vote Democrat, you get double the Democrat policies. At least we can hold it off a little while. Did the Brett Cooper Snow White movie ever get made? I don't think so. Did they ever say they were going to release it? Because I know obviously when Brett Cooper left, you know, that put a wrench in things, but I don't know if that means, I don't know if that means that they stopped making it. Why is Geeks and Gamers trashing you? Well, here's some content for him, because I know his channels are dying and he's really upset about it. And he's apparently blaming me. This will be the only time I address it. Literally 2 months ago, I pointed out the fact that the entire, trashing woke movie space was down. For whatever reason, female energy, or he's feeling some kind of way, he's mad that my channel's still growing. I don't really know. This guy was a friend of mine. I have no idea why he decided to throw in with people that hate me, stand shoulder to shoulder with people that hate me, because I pointed out the very simple fact that making movies about the next woke movie or next woke TV show is basically just not as popular as it once was. This is an objective fact. Nobody's channel was hurt more than mine by that. But for whatever reason, I don't know if he was on his period or whatever, but he took it really personally. So then he DM'd me and had a meltdown about it. And we talked, and he said privately, I feel like releasing it, but I won't. Hey, we're good. I'm not mad about it. We made up. Everything's fine. Then a week later, maybe a cycle struck again. He decided he was still mad about it and wanted to, be upset. I don't know if he's mad. It's like he got a cream pie thrown in his face or something. I don't know. But he got really mad about it and decided that because there's no more content to talk about woke media and this stuff, I have no idea why he got so mad. Like, my channel never made more money than, when Biden was in office and we got to dunk on all these woke TV shows. But he had a total meltdown. And then he, as a man, when a man says we're good, you generally take a man at their word, right? You're like, hey, we squash this, right? But no, a week later, he went on to literally restream like a hater's stream about me because I don't know, he doesn't have content or something like that. What he doesn't know is he's going down the same road as Ethan Van Sciver, where he's going to throw in with a very small group of people who still support him via super chats, and he will fade into irrelevancy. This is once a guy that thought he was going to have the Barstool Sports of entertainment news, and now he's basically irrelevant. And it's not because of anything I did, but for whatever reason, it's my fault. Look, the quartering is never making less money, right? I was talking about my channel and the space as an entirety. This guy had a whole full-blown titty baby meltdown, and now he's making hate videos about me. And what he doesn't know is that many viewers from him are emailing me and joining my Discord and saying, hey, I don't know what's going on here, but I support you. He's going down a very, very bad road. And I wish him the best. I hope that he can pivot and continue to thrive because I still think it's a good voice in the community. But as a man, when a man says, when a man says this is squashed, and then a week later is, having a full-blown meltdown, platforming your haters because he's still secretly mad about it, all I can say is that's massive female energy. And it's not a good road for him. I pray that he finds, the real reason why his channels are dying. And, it's not my fault. Again, I couldn't have been more clear that I was talking about my own channel too. But now he's going to stream about this and meltdown again. And, ultimately, I got nothing against the guy, but he's on his own. I could have helped him. I could have helped him rebrand his channel, all this kind of stuff. And it's too bad because I don't keep a lot of people close to me online. And he was one of those people that I would text directly. We would talk business and talk stuff. I don't know why he decided to go down that road and toss in with people whose whole life surrounds like being butthurt that I buy Pokemon cards and stuff like that. It's fine. Kiss and make up. It's not a kiss and make up thing. I don't have anything against him. He chose a path. I wish him the best. I hope he finds his way. I forgive him for, maybe succumbing to his female emotions and wanting to farm super chats off of, an embarrassing moment in my history. But that's okay. It doesn't bother me. He's not a family member of mine. He doesn't work for me. And so that's going to be the last of it. I don't really care. He can make all the videos he wants, but it's going to be a predictable end. My channel is going to pass 2 million subscribers probably in March. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about having the editors that I have now. It's clearly working. Views are back up over, it's going to be 10, 12 million again this month. Because I looked at why my business was failing and I made the correct adjustment. Now, that's what a man does. A female energy would be to blame everyone else around you. And that's a different path you can take. What an embarrassing moment. Look, I don't really give a shit. Like that, there was a porn search in my search bar like 4 years ago. And, I never said I didn't watch porn. I think porn is bad and big fucking deal. The guy acts like he doesn't watch porn. Everybody pretending to clutch their pearls, being like, oh my God, like I show porn on my live stream. I'm not, so I just, it's all fake and gay and I just don't give a shit about it. And that's why, I don't make videos about it. I'm not going to get in a flame war with a guy whose channel is dying. And, it doesn't matter. So they can stay mad about it. It's fine by me. I'll keep cashing checks, growing my channels, and they can stay mad about it, and everything's good. He must have forgot you have partial ownership in Friday Night Tights. I know, right? Even as an employee, I wouldn't fire him. He's allowed to have his opinion. J-Hope says, Jeremy, you're starting to live out your life to honor Christ the best you can. They're all going to start attacking you. Just stay strong. Yeah, I know. Like, if there's one day I don't wear my cross, they're like, oh, he's not wearing his cross. He's a fake Christian. It's just, again, it's female energy. Mad Max, Crackpot Candace says, Cleopatra, Adam Schiff Jones. Yeah. I mean, the jokes that we make at these people's expenses among my employees are plentiful. They're allowed to stay mad. That's 100% fine. Tectone said he'd come on your show invited. Yeah, I know he would. Yeah. He's a top 3 super chats in the world. Then why is he worried about me? Ask yourself that. If you're making so much money in super chats, why are you worried about some other guy? Why are you worried about how much money I make? Why are you worried about my coffee company? By the way, I had a massive day in coffee sales yesterday, so I'm glad that people are upset. But I'm sorry his channel's dying. He should probably be focusing on figuring out what his audience wants to buy instead of trying to dredge up an embarrassing moment from my past. Because I literally don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I remember when Jeremy and Tim were fighting, the way you two patched up made me hope for the future. Yeah, well, I patched up with Tim because Tim and I talked as men, and that's how men handle it. That's just how men handle things. And men don't shake hands and say we're good and then put out a whole video, hating on somebody to farm super chats. It's a short-lived thing. I wish him the best. I really do. Let's see. Make heavy. Then Tim crashed out and fired a bunch of employees. Hey, I don't know what happened there. I don't know. But because Tim cleaned house, I got Hannah Claire, who's an incredible employee, and I'm happy for that. And Luke, who's an okay employee. You do care or you wouldn't be talking about it. Well, that's like concern troll logic. I'm responding to my chat. I could only ignore it for so long, right? Eventually you have to address it. And so that's what they get. So now they can both take that clip and react to it and cry and act like they've been wronged. And I still, continue moving up. My Rumble channel's growing every day. I started a second channel for fun and it's got 250,000 subs already. These guys are worried about some controversy from 4 years ago. He sounds like a guy that gets cheated on, and only question he worries about is does the other guy have a bigger dick? Yeah. I mean, here's one thing that's different about me that like a lot of new like A-logs who are watching, they think me responding to chat is me melting down, but I always respond to chat. I have literally always responded to chat, and that's one thing that I do. A better business plan would probably be only responding to super chats, because then people would give me more super chats and stuff like that. But that's not how I run my business. I talk to people regardless of whether or not they pay money to speak to me. And Jeremy even responds to my retarded comments. Exactly. Yeah, I don't. So some people are like, oh, he's crashing out, or oh, he's responding to a troll. I respond to everybody. And I know that. So, they get their content, and that's okay. And it's like, I've been on the internet for how long now? 15 years. I've been YouTubing. People don't think I know how the internet works. The hi Italy, Nick, I see you. Crash outs are fun to watch. I know, but calling everything a crash out, I mean, responding to somebody is not a crash out. Like, I couldn't be more measured. And I know you're not saying I'm crashing out, but or maybe you are, but this is my Friday show when I interact with my viewers. This is why my viewers are loyal to me. And it's why my viewers tune in for the show, because I don't pretend to be anything I'm not. Tell me, Candace, tell me, Jim, what has Candace been wrong about? Everything? Pores need love too. Yeah. Thank you for listening to the Pores. Hey, again, it's harder during the regular show because the chat moves a lot faster, but that's why I like my Friday shows. Blind Snake says $10 says you won't respond to me. I see you. It's funny that so many people bitch that Jeremy's so boring, and yet they also say he's raging. Yeah, which is it? Hey, look, I'm not saying my streams are the most high energy, but during the week we have 12, 13,000 people tuned in. I think that's pretty great. We've built that up from 2,000 or 3,000 2 years ago. And I think that's great. And I'm very happy. And now I'm bringing back my gaming channel, which is also great. And it's just a hobby. So people will be like, oh my God, he uploaded to a channel he hasn't uploaded to in 3 years and only got 2,000 views. Yeah. Okay. Check in with me in a year. And see how the channel's doing. This time slot is superior to I want this time slot, and there may be some moving around that's happening. I'm not totally sure. What's your gaming channel? It's Unsleeved Media. I'm working over the weekend to bring it over to Rumble. Since I haven't uploaded to that channel in 3 years, I didn't bring it over to Rumble. So over the weekend, I'll bring it over to Rumble. Yeah. So on Rumble, it's on YouTube now, but it'll be on Rumble. I just, I haven't had any time. And there's really no reason. If I hadn't uploaded to it in 3 years, why put it on Rumble? I've been a Hamley fan as long as there's been a Rumble. Shout out. Salty Legion, you have been. Salty Army is Legion. You have been. For years, you've been in chat. I miss drunk Jeremy spilling tea and burning bridges. Yeah, that was a lot of fun, but you know what? This is why I say people that are doing that now, it's not a good business plan. Now I stay out of it, and my channels are back to growing. I don't drink on stream because then bad things happen. They will have the live stream saying, the quartering crashes out. Oh, yeah, I know. That's fine. Let them make their content. I'm telling you right now, as a friend, going down this path will not be good for you. Now, you can double down on it like I know your dumbass will, but, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I followed you because I originally thought you were the same guy as Salty. I'm Fat Salty Cracker. Yeah. Your gaming channel actually got me back in a 12-year hiatus. I'm telling you, the gaming channel will never be huge, but if that channel averages 10, 20,000 views a video, that means I get to continue having my voice in the gaming community. The reason I'm really bringing it back is because gaming content is kind of no longer what my active viewers want. My active viewers on the quartering are more interested in not necessarily hard news, but what's going on in the world stuff. And when I upload gaming news videos, they bomb. And then because they bomb, they drag down other videos. So that's why I'm like, well, let's just do my gaming videos on Unsleeved Media, where people who only want game videos will see them. I have a plan. And now they will say you're melting down. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You can't win. That's why, like, it doesn't matter, you know? Jeremy's language is too clean to stream to be confused with Salty. I love Salty Cracker. You know what? He doesn't get involved in personal beefs either. You know? Devori right after Tim Cass. Morning is a bad lineup. 2 low energy Doom Pill casts in a row. Hey, I'm just glad. I'm happy that Rumble gave me the opportunity to be here. And I got nothing to say about the lineup. I'll take whatever spot is given, and I'll do the best I can to entertain the people in that hour. Need to have Razor on with Melanie. Good Christcast. Yeah. You know, Razor Fist is a guy that I definitely want to get on. Your move towards Christ has inspired me. Also proud of you. Love you. Live MTGHQ. God bless. Hey, yeah. You know what? Start by finding a church, and then you can watch service online. You don't have to start by going and sitting in a church. Figure out if you like it. That's what I did, you know? Patriot Paladin says, over the last 8 to 10 years, it's been Salty, you, and Tim. Keep up the great work. Thank you. What's the status of the garage gym? Well, we have all the permitting done. I know that much. And I made a few more changes to the layout. So what I did, even though I don't have an RV, this was kind of always a dream of mine. Now people get mad about this, but I don't care. I want to have a car wash in there. Like, every man would love to have a car wash in their garage, right? I'm not talking like a fancy one that you drive through and all this stuff. I'm just talking about a big curtain that you can like pull back, and then you have a pressure washer in the garage so you can get all the salt off your car in the wintertime. The only problem is, and maybe someone in chat knows, we have really hard water out here. I have a lift in there. There is a lift in there. But I have, we have really hard water out here. And if you don't, you can't use it to wash your cars because it leaves these little spots all over it that actually, they're like, I don't know if it's calcium or whatever the issue is, but it'll ruin your car. My wife's brand new car, it cost me like many thousands of dollars to fix because the sprinkler system was spraying it and we had no idea. And the sun dried the hard water on it and it ruined the car. Like, we had to get it totally repainted. I ended up not repainting it. I just wrapped it. But I have an RO system in my house, but with a car wash, install a deionizer. Is that what I need? So I wanted to do the car wash, but then I'm like, I have to figure out what I need to do so that I can have high pressure water that doesn't have the calcium in it. So I was reading that you need like a holding tank or something like that. So I have to figure that out. Deionizer. Okay. That's what I need. Okay. So that's what's holding up the last little bit, because if I can't do it reasonably affordably, I'll just continue to go to the car wash. Like, I have a car wash 5 minutes from my house. But man, fellas, tell me, having a heated garage with a car wash, with just a little wash bay in there, fuck, man, that's the dream. Pull your ATV in there, fucking wash it, pull the cars in there, get the salt off it. That's the dream. McGuire's hard water spot remover. I did try that, but it was too late because the sun baked it on too much. Not McGuire's. Yeah. When I ruined my wife's car, I spent a lot of money like wet sanding it and all that crap to try and get it off. It was done. Indoor wash bay or lift. Dream shop goals. That's what I'm saying, right? We have 5 months of like salt and cold weather. Be able to get that shit off your car would be nice. 200-gallon stainless steel holding tank. Okay. Well, you probably have to have it inside then, right? You need a water softening system. I had one for well water in New Jersey. Okay. I'll write that down. I'm sure something exists. I'm sure when I like talk to these companies, they know the answer. Bring water in from the RO to rinse it off. Well, the problem is my RO system only makes 5 gallons at a time. So I don't know. Stop telling us how much you can do that we cannot. I'm just saying, it's a dream. Like, I'm not even building this other garage if I can't put a car wash in it, because what's the point? Yeah. Stick the tank under the floor. Well, I think it would still be at risk of freezing then. You'd have to do something. Yeah, I'll figure it out. Holding tank in the garage with lift, car wash, and gym. Well, and then upstairs will be my studio, which is great. Broke down about a $22 car wash for my truck today. It killed me to do it, but it's just too cold out. Dude, I'm going to get to this next story quick here, but like, does anybody know when the hell car washes got so expensive? I went to the car wash and it was like 14 or 16 bucks to get my truck washed. That used to be like it feels like $8 a year ago. It was like, I feel like it was $8. And then I went, and just one of those shitty like drive-through touchless watches was 14 bucks. And I was like, what the CR spotless water systems. They've been expensive for years. I normally don't wash the car. Wash a Quick Trip gift cards, 25% off. Yeah. Well, all the car washes over here have monthly memberships where you pay like $30 a month for unlimited washes or something like that. Yeah, it's $49 in Wisconsin right now. I might have to bust out the hose. Dude, my wife, I'm going to wash my truck this afternoon. She's like, good luck. There was like 500 cars in line at the car wash. Yeah. Basic drive-through is $12. Still, that's so much. Why is air $3? Dude, and they never give you enough time on the dryer either. The car wash I go to Winner's Circle in Germantown. They've always done the best job for me. Then they started getting cheeky with the wash or the dry. They give you 90 seconds on the dry, which is about enough time, but the dryer shuts off with 15 seconds left. So they're only giving you 75 seconds, which isn't enough time if you have like an extended cab truck. You need really like 2 minutes to go get through that dryer to really dry it, and then you still need to go out and hand dry it. Yeah. All right, well, let's talk about this. I heard car washers recycle water, so you undercarriage. That's probably true. Yeah. Look into the Obsessed Garage channel and website. They specialize in car detailing garages. They may be able to figure out just by watching them. Oh, okay. I will check them out. Pewaukee Quick Trip dryer sucks, dude. Dude, yeah. Are you talking about the one on 164? That one blows donkey balls. Not on 164. It's on Highway F, right? It's by the Meyer. I tried that one too. The dryer sucks there. And what I don't like about Quick Trip is they have a long path around the building, and you don't know how many cars are in front of you until you can't get out. Off 16 in Capitol. Yeah, that one. Yeah. Like, you get in, and if there's 10 cars and you're like, shit, I don't have an hour to wait, you're stuck. You can't get out of there. Yeah. Yes, the curve around it sucked. Yeah, see, exactly. Like, especially in a truck. And like, you gotta wait. You get into that curve, and you're like, fuck, there's 11 cars in front of me. I have shit to do, and now I'm stuck here for 2 hours. I go to Winner's Circle in Germantown, and then there's a place in Slinger, Wisconsin called Uncle Larry's or Crazy Larry's. People say that one's the best. I haven't been there yet. You have car washers at all your Quick Trips. Not all of them. Any of the new ones generally have car washes, but any of the older ones don't have them yet. Yeah. All right. Doobie-doobie-doo. Winter Circle's been good to me. Is Winter Circle a chain? Maybe it's a chain. I go to the one in Germantown. That one's always been good, but they jacked their price up. Now it's 14 or 16 bucks for a car wash, which just feels like, man, I should be able to wash this at home, you know? All right. Well, it would seem like Candace Owens is cruising for a lawsuit. I think she desperately really wants a lawsuit at the end of the day so she can go max, this dumb term she made up. If what she's doing now isn't going max, I don't know what is. But she is absolutely begging for a lawsuit. And now the internet's starting to turn on her as she's decided she wants to go after Charlie Kirk's kids. And she also accidentally revealed she probably has no idea what it's like to be a parent. The internet is absolutely dunking on her for the dumbest take yet, that kids don't wake up in the middle of the night. Now, it's been a long time since I was a kid, but I definitely remember being a kid and waking up in the middle of the night. But the internet has definitely had enough of her now going after Charlie's kids. Here's Frank McCormick. Charlie's kids are off limits, you sick, psychotic B word.
It's like, yeah, you be you. Yeah, I'm so excited. Who knows? Okay, we're not clear on that. 3-year-old daughter.
She's just making up stories about Charlie's kids now, which they're going to have to watch these videos at some point later in their life.
At 2:45 in the morning. That's not when toddlers at the age of 3 wake up, okay? These are
toddlers do wake up early all the time. Let's listen to how many kids does she claim she has? 3 or 4? I bet you she doesn't raise them at all. I bet you she has a full-time nanny and has never spent any time with her kids at all. I'd be willing to bet you this woman never breastfed her kids, never had anything to do with her kids, because she clearly doesn't know anything about them.
That's not when toddlers at the age of 3 wake up, okay? These are sleep-trained toddlers. Gigi
sleep-trained toddlers?
Wakes up at 2:45, 3-year-old kid who should be in the REM stage of sleep. Well, Gigi sleeps in her mother's bed. Just little swapsies there at 3 a.m. in the morning, totally casual. Just curious that they're all awake. It's 2:45 a.m. in the morning. I don't know what's going on. Okay. But the implication is that's what woke up her 3-year-old daughter at 2:45 in the morning. Like, yeah, you be you. Yeah, I'm so excited. Who knows?
Kids get excited for all sorts of things. All this does is confirm to me that she's not raising her own kids. She is, by all likelihood, in my opinion, a terrible mother. Nobody this vile could ever be a true loving mother. Like that's just the reality of it. And here Graham Allen absolutely torches her for it.
I'm starting to question whether or not Candace Owens raises her kids.
She doesn't.
She says something here that not normal mothers say, and I'm going to point it out. Let's see if you can.
Well, no mother would go after another person's kid, especially a grieving widow.
Spot it when it happens. And if you can, I'm going to help.
At 2:45 in the morning. And apparently he was so loud, the apartment's small, and maybe it was his excitement. He's like, yeah, you be you. Yeah, I'm so excited. Who knows? Okay, we're not clear on that.
We're not clear on that. I mean, she's literally just making it up. She's just making this up. She has no idea. But, you know, if you're Candace Owens' viewer, you're dumb.
But the implication is that's what woke up her 3-year-old daughter at 2:45 in the morning. That's not when toddlers at the age of 3 wake up, okay? These are sleep-trained toddlers, okay?
What?
Gigi wakes up at 2:45.
Why does she talk like about toddlers like they're a puppy? By the way, in chat, Valhalla Chris says, I have 5 kids. My youngest are 2 and 4 and 2. And they wake up at odd hours all the damn time. Candace is, in fact, a twat waffle. Yep, I agree with that.
3-year-old kid who should be in the REM stage of sleep.
Did you catch it? Did you catch it? Did anybody catch it right there? Did you catch the clue? Did you catch the clue right there? Let's just see one more time.
Sleep-trained toddlers.
Sleep-trained toddlers.
Okay.
Children wake up all the time.
Yes, they do.
In the middle of the night, Candace. Even sleep-trained toddlers wake up.
It's like I swear that this woman just had the kids so she could pretend that she's like a trad wife. Remember she wrote a book called Make Your Husband a Sandwich or something like that? How many sandwiches do you think she's actually made her husband?
From time to time. Candace Owens, I'm not sure she's woken up a night ever since she's had kids. That is spoken like a woman.
I agree.
That they got a nanny that's been getting up with her kids her entire life.
True.
Or her entire time being a mother. What do you mean a 3-year-old won't wake up at 2:45 in the morning? What are you talking about?
They absolutely will.
Candace, blink twice. Like, do you have kids? Are those really your children?
No, I wouldn't think so. You know, Candace Owens is now invoking Charlie's children to justify accusing their mom of taking Charlie's life. I mean, how can people watch this slop and think this woman is on the right side of history?
Now, like, I got to start, like, justice for Gigi. They keep dragging this poor toddler into every possible alibi.
Bitch, you're doing it right now. You're dragging Charlie's daughter, whose father is dead and will one day have to watch these videos that you make, and you're dragging her into it. Like, at some point, come on, Candace fans. At some point, this woman's gone too far. This is okay to you?
Regarding Erica Kirk, and I'm just not going to stand for this much longer, okay?
Oh,
We're out
yeah,
here treating Gigi like Puerto Rican moms treat their daughters. Okay, Latinos,
What?
you know what I'm talking about. Their sons can do no wrong.
What?
The daughters, they do a lot of wrong. That's how I'm feeling like Gigi's getting some treatment here, but I'm not cool with. She's always in the alibi.
I love it. Candace Owens is really worried about dead Charlie Kirk's children. If she was so worried about the kids, she wouldn't spend the last 6 months trying to destroy his legacy and torture Erica Kirk.
Remember, Gigi kicked Charlie out of the bed the night before because she was doing gymnastics. Gigi wanted to move that photo to eye level, so they had to move it. Gigi wanted to go for a walk, so Erica couldn't have been at some fort in Huachuca because she was with Gigi. Leave.
So Candace is saying that here's what's really being exposed here. What do moms do with their 2-year-old kids? They spend time with them. They take them for walks. They take them to the park. Apparently to Candace Owens, super mom, super conservative, it's quote unquote weird, and she must be using her child as an alibi because a mom whose husband and the child's father was just brutally murdered is spending time with her kids. She's mad that Erica Kirk is spending time with her kids, and so she's spinning it into saying, well, she could only be spending time with her kids to use as an alibi, obviously. What kind of vile piece of garbage is Candace Owens?
Leave Gigi alone.
Yes, take your own freaking advice.
Obviously, that did not happen because it makes no sense. No sense.
Yeah, it makes no sense that a mom would spend time with her 2-year-old. That's crazy. That's crazy talk that a mom is spending time with their 2-year-old. In particular, a 2-year-old whose father was just killed. That's so crazy.
To bring a photo to ground level in a studio that is not occupied by the toddler. Is this her first time seeing the photo?
I mean, is this confession through projection? By the way, here's a list of things Candace Owens has been wrong about. Charlie's letter to Netanyahu's 150 million, the Hamptons event, UVU students that she falsely accused, the maroon t-shirts, the Egyptian planes, the indictment, never spoke to the media, her husband's birthday, she'd stop if Erica told her to, Fort Huachuca, the list goes on and on and on and on and on and on. Candace thinks it's weird, not that Erica had zero else contact. Now, by the way, now she's trying to call Erica a groomer. Here's Insurrection Barbie. Candace Owens has now reached a new low. She is subhuman, a bottom-feeding demon who has decided to move on to the toddler children of Erica Kirk for clicks and money. I refuse to post her clip, but this is a new level of low, even for the morally bankrupt degenerate she has become. Repent, demon. I don't understand So now she's going to say, well, I'm going to do a full week of production so I can continue to slander Erica Kirk.
Obviously, like I said, is our last episode before we take a week off air.
By the way, her taking a week off air, she's gonna regret it, because everybody that is tuning into her every day is like a goldfish mind person, and if she's not on air for a week, they're gonna move on to somebody else. She's gonna do a documentary on Erica Kirk where she accuses her of being a groomer, which is what she did in yesterday's show. All of this, in my opinion, because Erica Kirk got Charlie Kirk and she didn't. That's what all this is about, by the way. I mean, we're bringing the kids into it to push her conspiracy theories for clicks and money. And she's trying to say, well, I'm not bringing the kids into it. Erica Kirk's bringing. I mean, give me a break. Hey, Candace, if the Jews are so bad, why didn't you give Ben Shapiro back all that money he paid you? Oh, you're not going to do that? Okay. Well, continue having nannies raise your kids while you tell other people about what's weird about them raising their kids. Absolutely vile. See you next Tuesday in full effect here. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully we'll find out about that bee cult too that you said was involved, or the trap doors. We'll talk to you again real soon. It's absolutely vile. Every bit of it. Then on Fridays, we like to do a little rating. So we're gonna see who else is live, and we're gonna try to make their day here. Who else is live? Let's see. We'll be live again over the weekend too, by the way. I've got a lot going on, so I definitely want to see who's live. Did they move the live thing? No, here live. How about Wendy Bell Radio?
And during that period, once we had assessed this, and now this is about 30 days after the
talking about
election.
ballots.
Late November, early December, we're doing the investigation. I go to ask Ed Meese.
I'll be live again over the weekend. We've got lots to talk about. We're gonna send you over to Wendy Bell. Shout out. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. And we'll be back. Yeah, we'll do some unboxings this weekend. But then we'll be back Monday at 2 Eastern. So we'll see you guys.